Welcome back to International Star Media, the Gold Star Standard, at the Gold Star Standard. Reactions, reviews, and news you can use. Once again, I am your host, International Yada, for the records and the dollars. And hey, check this out. We got another serious one coming at you. The feds dubbed this the Kristopher McDonald organization. It's another serious case involving human trafficking / trafficking by the feds. Okay, let's get straight off into this. Indianapolis, Indiana. A federal jury has found Kristopher McDonald, 37, of Indianapolis, guilty of the following 8 counts related to his operation of a violent, human, and drug trafficking enterprise, the Kristopher McDonald organization. And we're bringing this up again, and we will continue to bring it up. The elements that they need to find you guilty of human trafficking and or sex trafficking are force, fraud, coercion, violence, and or the threats of violence. And you see what they say right here: a violent, human, and drug trafficking enterprise. All they need to do is find you guilty on one of those: force, fraud, coercion, violence, and or threats of violence, and they can throw you away up to life in prison. Once again, take heed. Learn from the mistakes of others. Don't throw your life away. You better know what you're doing while you out there doing what you're doing. Because if they catch you slipping, if they catch you involved in human trafficking / sex trafficking, you can potentially get up to life in prison. Take heed. Let's continue. Count 1, murder in aid of racketeering activity. Count 2, brandishing and discharging a firearm during a crime of violence. Count 3, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. These are the charges they hit them with. This is 3 out of 8. You see what they are. Serious charges, and this is serious business. Let's continue. Count 4 and 5. Sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Once again, counts 4 and 5 are sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Take heed. Count 6, enticing an individual to travel in interstate commerce to engage in prostitution. And that's coercion. You hear that? Enticing an individual to travel in interstate commerce to engage in prostitution. I hope y'all are really paying attention out there to these stories. These charges is getting thrown around, and guys are being found guilty daily all across the United States. Local, state, and as you can see here, federal. It's not a joke and it's not a game. Find something legal to do. Everything is not for everybody. Let's get back to this. Count 7 and 8, the Travel Act. And we just went through what the Travel Act was in the last video. So if you don't know what the Travel Act is, look at the last video, the video right before this one, and we do a brief breakdown. Okay, let's go. Count 7 and 8, Travel Act, a federal crime to engage in interstate or international travel for the purpose of furthering certain unlawful crime activities. Certain unlawful activities. And one of the unlawful activities is prostitution. When you're dealing with the Travel Act, y'all keep that in mind. When you are dealing with the Travel Act, one of the unlawful activities that they cite is prostitution. Okay, let's continue. Here we go. According to court documents and travel evidence, what do y'all think that means? Not the court documents. We know what the court documents here are. And travel evidence, meaning they must attract him across state lines, posting ads and or renting hotel rooms. This is just my assumption on what the travel evidence is, because they say they had evidence of him traveling state to state, cross country that it is. Okay. Kristopher McDonald orchestrated and led a human trafficking operation in Indianapolis. During this time, he recruited and exploited women, some from out of state, for commercial sex. Maintaining strict control over the operation, McDonald managed all aspects of the criminal enterprise, including collecting proceeds from sex acts and using violence to intimidate and punish both clients and the women he exploited. So they saying he used violence and or threats of violence against his women, the women that he had, and also the clients. Force, fraud, coercion, violence, and or threats of violence can get you up to life in prison. Once again, take heed, pay attention. Everything is not for everybody. Find you something legal to do. To manipulate and maintain control over the women, McDonald supplied them with crack cocaine. What? Fostering addiction and dependency. He also used physical abuse, including pistol whipping and threats of death, to punish those who didn't earn enough money or to force them into performing sex acts, often up to 9 or 10 times a day. Here we go, part 6 of this. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, or the ATF, and Explosives, IRS and IMPD, investigated this case. The U.S. District Chief Judge Tanya Walton Pratt presided over the trial and will sentence McDonald on a later date. He was found guilty of these charges, of these 8 charges, and right now awaiting sentencing. Pay attention and do your best to learn from the mistakes of others, because you do not want to get caught up in this. You do not want to get caught up into human trafficking / sex trafficking charges. They would throw you away if found guilty. You could face a maximum sentence of up to life in prison. You don't want to go out like this guy, Mr. McDonald. International Star Media, the Gold Star Standard, at the Gold Star Standard. Reactions, reviews, and news you can use. And this is definitely news you can use. Hopefully we can steer somebody away from the prison. And you can look at a story like this, knowing that this lifestyle is not for you. You need to back up out of it. Back up off it. If you're out here playing games, thinking it's cute, take heed. Take heed. Pay attention to the stories. Share it with somebody that you might think is out here moving recklessly. You hear a lot about the goods and the bad. This right here is the ugly. It's a real ugly situation when you're facing life in prison for human trafficking / sex trafficking. You better know who you dealing with out here. Pay attention, International Star Media. And we will see you on the next one. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share the video. We out.